Hello, it's June 3rd still. I I actually do have I don't know where that came from. Anyway, I actually do have a problem, and I don't know if putting it out there will help me figure it out. So I'm doing some writing, and there's a very compelling character that I have come up with. The only problem is I don't feel a lot of sympathy for her, and so it's hard for me to portray her during the climactic scene where she finally lets her guard down. Let me explain who she is. She is a woman in late middle age. Um, let's say, 60 plus. And she has spent her entire life denying that she is gay. Um, and she has kept people at arm's distance, and she has, especially after a certain time, like maybe after middle age hit, she stopped caring about her appearance and started to almost make herself ugly, as if to discourage male attention. Right. Um, she has never maintained a relationship with a man for more than what is the dopamine, like 2 years, for more than like 2, maybe 3 years at the most. And she would just go through them in her young years. Like, she had no concept of them as people. It's just that I need to run from this thing that I feel inside, and so I'm gonna just keep working through these men and disposing of them when I'm done. And that way I don't have to hear about how I'm lesbian. I don't have to think about it, because look, I'm with all these men. Um, she does not ever have a child. And that's on purpose, because she doesn't want to be bound to any of these men at all. She never wants to get married. She never wants to really be in a relationship. If she had her choice, they would be like her plus one, and then they'd go their separate ways. But that was not something that she would allow herself to have. Um, and so, as she has gotten older, her constant fighting of her own nature and what she actually wants has warped her. All through, like, let's say the 80s and 90s, like, she would have manifestations of things. Like, she would blow up at, like, men who were just, like, sort of with her, and they had no. She would find reasons to push them away. Um, but she would also indulge in extreme misogyny, because if she were to allow herself to get close to a woman, like really close, um, she would have to deal with possibly, um, that which she has been hiding within herself for her whole life. So she would, like, and what and one of the things, and I'll come back to that in a sec. One of the things she will always do is, rather than have a discussion, she will do one of two things. She will either act really snotty and superior, uh, and like, well, I wouldn't put something that way. I don't think that way. Like, just nitpicking just at everything, right? To make someone feel small and to make them stop. Or she will just completely ignore it and avoid it. And she will push people out of her life that ask questions, that ask too much of her, anything of her, really. So she has spent her life just, like, throwing people out of her life, as anybody who gets too close, especially women. But and she would find little misogynistic reasons why, like, oh, you know she's too much of a, I don't know, a feminist. She's too much of a I know that they didn't use this term then, but she's too much of a pick-me, whatever she could use to keep just people just out. And she continues to do this through her life, using whatever possible thing she has at hand to, like, keep people away. And she I don't think I'm gonna have her confront what's happening inside of her, because she finds a great love. Because I don't like her. I don't want that for her. But I want her to eventually confront it, and that is the part that I don't know how to do. I don't know how to show her vulnerable. I don't know how to show her as she really is. I only know how to do the facade. Maybe it's because she's like an amalgamation of a ton of people I know. So it's hard to like determine, well, which one of them maybe, and we're talking like maybe people I know of, people in fiction, there's a Miss Havisham aspect to it, but maybe not perhaps so dusty. She's living a normal life. She just will not let people in. And it has become almost like a disease. It's malignant. She cannot control it anymore. It has gone out of control, and she is alone, and she cannot not be alone. And I don't know how to have her express some kind of epiphany she might have, or express like something that she's known all along. So this is something that I've been thinking about on and off all day, because I like this character and I think there's a lot of potential for her. Because let's be honest, we don't see a lot of older women portrayed in media. We'll see it more in like books, because older women write books, but it's not something that we see a lot of generally. And I don't want her to be a cliche, I don't want her to be weak in her vulnerability. I want her to be strong in her vulnerability. I want her to be afraid of her strength, and that is hard to portray. So I don't know. I can't let her go, but I might have to sit with her for a little while longer, because I do care about her as a character, and I care what she brings to the story, but she's by far the hardest thing I've ever written. So I don't know where to go from here, so I just thought I'd put it out there, and to be honest, talking about it really hasn't gotten me anywhere closer to a resolution with this, but it's okay. It's okay. There's no deadline, and nobody's waiting for this. So I can take time and really try to work on what it means for her to be in the play, what her character is. Because I want her to be a main character. I want her struggle to be told. We always hear, the young, beautiful people struggle. I'm up to here with the young, beautiful people struggle. What about the people who are a little older? What about their struggles? Did they stop having struggles because they stopped being as pretty? Not at all. So, thank you for watching, and if anybody has any kind of ideas, feel free to write, but I know it's very complicated. But thank you for listening anyway, and I will speak to you soon.